Okay. All right. Yep. Everything's all working. Hi. So I'm surrounded by cats and working away in the studio. And Corbin's with me, as always. Hold on a second. I'll let Corbin say hi. Oh, I know, buddy. Hold on. He's smacking me in the arm. Here we go.
How you doing, everybody? It's me, Corbin. Right on, right on. Let's get some drawing done.
Oh, jeez, Corbin, you're a ham. Okay, he's a ham. Okay, so I've got, for those that, I've been back this week after my little hiatus, and I've been doing streams during the afternoon at noon. And one of the things that I got for Christmas from a loving family is our youngest daughter, Nicole, bought me art dice. Art dice. They're not just for breakfast anymore. Hiya, Linda. Welcome aboard. Hiya, Tim. Okay, so art dice are a set of 9 wooden dice to inspire drawing and painting. Woo! Now there's 7 or there's 9 different kinds. Yeah, or there's no, that's right, 7 different kinds. Medium, style, setting, color, texture, mood, and 3 different dice for subject matter. And I've been shaking these, and the last couple of days I've been working from these. So the pages that you've seen, which are, let me see, I'll pull them up. These 2. One is Lizard with a View. So this, this is the one that we did yesterday. This is Fish Landscape, and the medium was markers and ink. And the day before that was charcoal and graphite, and trying to think about the reptile and cityscape. So these are what we've been working from. Hi, Chris. Welcome aboard. And you know, there's lots of stuff still to roll out of this. So I've got the old container of whiskey here. So let's see what we got. Well, charcoal we've already done, so we're going to throw that again. Human, child, and indoors. Wow. Acrylic paint. What? All right, we can do that. So, excuse me, Corbin. I'm just going to slide you. I've got in the studio here trolley set up with all the tools I need on them. I'll hold it up. So this is the acrylic paint trolley. I don't know if you can see it. Anyways. So, yeah, so we've got this to work from. And then I've got another trolley over there, which is for watercolors and mixed media stuff and paper collage. And yeah. So, you know, trying to keep myself organized to some degree. Very practical. The way that the studio is laid out now is Corbin, stop biting everything. Sorry, dealing with a misbehaving young man. So the way the studio is laid out now is that I've got materials laid out so that everything's accessible and everything's in view. And then I've got the digital and traditional drawing area in front of me. And then I've got organizational space over here, another 4 feet on my desk for that. I've got more mark making tools arranged around me. I've got a specific section over here for painting and pastel and large works mounted on the wall here. And then I've got acrylic materials and things to choose from. Again, visible and in front of me. I think that one of the things that I find really helpful Aw. Linda saying hi, Corbin. I was going to show you Lucy too, but she jumped away. Lucy's up here and she wants to be involved in everything now as well. But I think by having, if you're going to do mixed media stuff, it really is helpful to have everything in view. So that's a lot of what I do in this old space Ruski. So I think what I'll do is that I've got some boards. Excuse me, guys. Just going to grab a couple here. We've I got a number of pre-cut, pre-made boards in the studio space. So we can utilize those for our canvas or for our surface anyways. Of course, as I have a very small space, so I take up what I need for 2 projects at a time. Otherwise, I'd invade my bed. Oh my studio's in my bedroom, Chris says. Totally understandable. I mean, for a long time, I worked in whatever amount of space I had it, and you know, kids at home, and then when we got together in this place, I had a bit of studio space, which is now Lori's yoga room. That's Lucy. So as the kids have grown up and moved out and stuff, we have more space for ourselves. So now what used to be our family room is now our studio office. And so it's a fairly decent sized space. It's 22 by 16, all said and done. So it works for us. And yeah, you know, it just, that's the thing about when you've got that you know, the situation eventually develops in life where you've got a little more time, a little more space, and let you spread out and misbehave, I guess. Lucy, come here. Stop picking a fight for no reason at all. I'm going to introduce you to Lucy. Come on. Come on. There she is. Nope, there she goes. Okay, well, that's a kitten for you. All right, so similar situation here. I live in an RV. Oh, that's awesome. This sounds like a lot of fun. You look nicely organized. Well, yeah, it keeps me out of trouble, I guess. All right, I'm going to switch the view. I've got, you know, you see my goofy head. Okay, so this is 2 canvas boards that I have set out here. How big are they? That's a great question. I don't know. 10 by 10. So 10 inches by 10 inches. For those of you that work with the centimeters, that's 25 centimeters by 25 centimeters. So our suggestions today are, one second, I'll write them down. So our suggested words, catch me if you can, says Lucy. That pretty much is the sort of thing Lucy would say. We've got acrylic. Just going to write it right on here. A human child. And indoors. Okay, that's a pretty easy squeezy way to start. That's an acrylic pen that I just wrote that down with, or acrylic marker, sorry. And you know, it makes it nice and handy to be able to scribble things out in the acrylic marker, especially when we're working with acrylics. But I'm going to get out the brushes too in a second. Oh, see, Chris says I'm a centimeter girl. There you go. Okay, so I've got, I'm going to use this purple. Why? A pink. I'll use a pink. Why? Just because, you know, gotta draw with something. Okay. I've called 7. I always called Abby 7. I apologize if that's not right. Okay, so we've got the surface laid out, and let's just get started from there. So the suggestion from the art dice that we rolled are indoors, acrylic paint, and a human child. I guess a mammal could have worked for that as well, but that's what we've got for our page for today. The charcoal page that I did 2 days ago has been posted on Instagram and Facebook, and the ink and marker page that we did yesterday, I've got posted up as the header for this, and I'm going to post that page after the stream. But I posted a second page today of me riffing off on the Alien franchise. So there we go. Okay, so here is our surface. There are our suggestions up there, and yeah, I don't know. Let's just have some fun, get started, and go for it, I guess. So I think that we'll just start out by drawing a human child into our composition. I might need to move these over a tiny bit. I guess this one's right. This one surface here is I've cut off about an inch or 3.5 centimeters. So there we go. So I'll just figure that out as I go. So I'm going to draw in our human child here. Today we're going to do our human child will be a little girl today. As boys tend to draw boys, girls tend to draw girls. Well, we're going to shake it up. So here's our human child coming into play. And I'm just throwing down shapes to start with. And we'll go from there. Yeah, so we're at a kind of a far edge of the angle here, but bear with me. So here's a carpenter's trick you can do for setting frames on, or setting, I guess the frame of reference around your character is that you can get equal spacing if you just run your finger along the outside edge of a surface and then gauge the depth of the line, and you can get a nice layout like that. But I can only do that on 2 of the 4 surfaces, so we'll just use this cool framing ruler. My son made me a really neat, my son Josh made me a really neat artist drawing box or drawing board to carry around that has that T-square built right into it. So, oh, welcome, Malcolm. Okay, so there's our first panel laid out. So I think what I'll do is just get into throwing some value down. And I'm just going to grab some colors and we'll get crack-a-lackin'. See, it's nice and organized here. It's kind of a nice feeling to be able to just turn left and find the thing I need. So I'll put the canvas someplace where you can see it in a sec. Or the palette. Good heavens, words are hard. Words are hard, Lori. Okay, so so here's the little canvas palette that I've got carried around here. I've got it, the white is a titanium, and the yellow is a lemon, and the green is a phthalocyanine green. So I'm using these three values together just to put in some basic color in the composition, and then we'll go from there. I'm not too specific and particular about the value as I'm putting it down. I'll tighten it up as we go. I just want coverage right now. There's some really cool, if you like painted comics, there's some really cool artists I would recommend you check out that are doing that. I'll be right back. My cats want food, and it must be now. All right, I understand that. We went through that a little bit earlier. Okay, so there's a couple artists that, of course, you've got your standard popular sequential painting artists that most people think of, which is guys like Alex Ross or Joe Gisco. But there's been such a wealth of painters that have worked in comics. I would suggest people check out the Hampton brothers. There's two of them. There's Bo and Scott. I believe it's Scott. I'm trying to remember. And then there's John Van Fleet and George Pratt. These are, long-standing painters, and of course you've got guys like Dave McKeon as well, but who does a lot of painting and digital painting work and mixed media work. But then there's also contemporary guys like Jacob Rebelka. I'm not sure how he pronounces it. Jacobrebelka, who I think is really, really interesting. He did a 4-issue comic series about Judas Iscariot. It's kind of really, really interesting. And then he's done a couple other ones about the last surviving person on Earth, and just good stuff. Anyhow, so another person who's phenomenal is Fraser Irving. Fraser Irving is incredible talent. Then you got guys like Simon Bisley, and I'll remember names as we go through the evening here, but these are just the ones that come to mind off the top of my head. So there you are. So I'm just putting down our grassy background. I'm trying to think how I can keep this up. Trying to put something under it so it stays up there. I think we have a solution. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, we have a solution. There we go. So yeah, it's more labor intensive for sure to do painted books, for absolutely. But at the same time, there's so many different things that you can do with that give you a very different finish than traditional illustrated, digitally painted, or digitally inked, or whatever you want to call it, comics. And there's just a wealth of different marks that you can make. A painter that a lot of people don't realize did a really interesting comic is, if you look at, you can look this up, but Pablo Picasso, when he was doing the workups for Guernica, he did them because there's 16 different moments in the painting Guernica, And he did a bunch of cartoons showing the sequential moment-to-moment happening of the bombing of Guernica in a comic form. It's really, all 16 in a row sequentially on the same page. That's a sequential comic. That's a number of people did, cartoon breakdowns of images. It's just, oftentimes they weren't laid out on the same page, whereas Guernica was. So that's really, really kind of cool to me. Okay, so I've got I put a bunch of white paint on our palette here. We'll gob of that, and then I'm going to move this a little bit. There we go. So it's not flashing the eye so bad. Okay, so you can see our young character here. Excuse me a sec. There we go. A little bit of red. There. They're pretty good. That's good in the palette right now. I've been using the same cloth in my studio for 10 years. Man, that guy's cheap. Holy cow, buy a new cloth, guy. What's your deal? What's your problem, Jack? Get yourself a new cloth. So I'm putting in our just basic color of our young person here. And we'll tighten it all up as we go along. I'm using the same brush for all of this right now just because it's all right to be chunky. There we go. Am I missing stuff? 10 years, yeah, I know. That cloth should know how to paint already. Well, it's it's like solid on this side, and then on this side it's still, but you can clearly sell or see that it's not whatever initial color that it was once. It's very much it's almost like an artifact at this point. It's been washed and rewashed, and you get into a habit of a thing. I'm going to let you in on a secret. I'm cheap. So, it's a little silly how I'll keep using the same things and inexpensive tools and things like because at the end of the day, it ain't what you got. It's the way that you use it. It's a really deep blue base in the phthalocyanine range of hues. It's phthalocyanine produces real crazy blues. They give you the blues, and it takes a little bit of work to get it to be something other than. Okay. So we've got basic areas laid out on our kitty character here. I think what I'll do next is that we'll come back in and we will tighten up stuff But for the most part, I think let's move on to the next panel and get going from there. Just to keep the ship a sailing, you know what I mean? So let's do a tighter shot. I'll move this for a moment on our character. So let's zoom in on her face, her expression here. Of our precocious little human child. So we'll just, so with the Titan shot, we can figure out some of the marks on her, like the shapes on her face and how to put her marks together to depict her. And then that'll tell us, you know, a little bit about how we reduce it down, simplify it for our smaller image. So, well, here comes Lucy again. Hey, don't bite that. I'll show you Lucy in a second if she comes over quick enough to catch. Staying at arm's length on purpose. It's like a nice try, Jack. All right. Okay, so we've got a tighter expression on her here. Just leave that alone. I'm gonna get you. I don't know if you can still see her face under that. Just we'll get a little more specific in a few seconds here about the marks that we're putting down. It's a strange random assortment of colors that I've picked out here for our palette, but make them work. You know what? I'm just going to do it. Get a better brush now. And that brush is annoying me. Good. Okay. So this is a big, fat, wide brush, but this is going to serve our needs. This is Lucy. Ready? Hi. Hello. Hello, I'm Lucy. I'm new. She looks just like if Corbin and our old cat Baby had a kitten together. Because she's got like, she's very much like Baby, but she's got Corbin's color and she's got a little bit of Baby's attitude. Bit of a stinker. Don't bite that. And yeah, we like her. She's very clearly Lori's cat. It's really lame. Red. We all have favorites, right? Every set of Shock pastels my dad gifted me like 4 years ago. And coloring books with a bit of dust and Q-tip is ready. There you go. Ah, there we go. My goodness. Everybody's giving away all kinds of information. There we go. That's much easier. Much easier. So this is a much easier blend. Less work than the colors I was using. And we'll tighten it up in a minute, but we're just going to get this base color down. And then we're going to get to town. Tightening up our colors and our composition, and happy picture. So I've got an orange here. I've got a red, which is a kind of a crimson value. And then I've got a titanium white, regular old white, and lemon yellow. All these colors working together to make a nice little range of values there. Very translucent color that I've mixed up here. Ah, heck. Come on, Runsman, what are you doing? How did them colors work? I don't know what I'm up to here. So I've got a flat value for the background here. We're going to put in a room that she's sitting or standing in. Oh, what is it? Acrylic human child indoors is our points. Sounds like Lucy's trying to be a part-time studio cat. Yeah, that's about right. Hey, read on. Hiya, Tim. Say hi for us. My cats were assistants on a color draw or paint. Cats love to see what their humans are doing. Now Lucy has to share with Corbin. She is already fighting with him over who gets to sit where. And but Lucy is very much Lori's cat. And, you know, old Corbin is still stuck with the old man. So once again, my apologies for not streaming for X amount of time. But we're back. I realized it was a 6-month break. Almost exactly 6 months that I was away. It's kind of funny. All right. Let me put a little bit of... So we're going to get tighter now, and we'll start with painting the young lady here. So this rough and sloppy painting work that I've done until now is really just to get something down on the board so it was usable for us. But now we can start to put in some proper colors. I don't know if you can hear the howling in the next room, but that's Lucy demanding attention from Corbin. I had a really nice email from someone who came across the one-page extravaganza books on Amazon, wrote a really lovely review, and asked a question about process and of me, and I spent X amount of time responding to it, and I mailed it to them, and they can't receive mail, like emails, for whatever reason. So that, felt fruitless, but, there you go. It was actually a healthy exercise for me because it made me start to think about a few things, how I do things, why I do things. So that was helpful. But not a great conversation. You know what I mean? So I'm just going to pick a light point here. So I didn't gesso this board in advance, and I didn't, score the surface or anything like that to make it more conducive to absorbing pigment, but we're making a go of it. A little bit guerrilla. This action here, but we'll get through it. We'll do it as a team. There we go. I'm just figuring out for myself which side the light source is on, so I might as well just build from that point on. Am I missing stuff? No, we're good. Okay. Squeakiest chair in the world. It's really nice to be able to chat with people again. That from the online community, I've missed folks. Missed yous. I've been doing a lot of teaching and really enjoying that. That's been quite fun. Because I'm teaching in different places than I have previous. I did teaching at a homeschool there, and I gotta tell you, homeschool kids are polite. It's what a gift that is, to you come in the room, and before you've even introduced yourself, the kids are calling you, Mr. Hello, Mr. Runciman. It was a nice feeling. And they all do their homework. That's another thing. Here's the homework I want you to do. And by goodness, they do it. Not to say that kids that aren't being homeschooled don't do those things. It's just, as a whole, they're all just in it to win it. It happens when you're some of the teachers are your own parents. You're nice parents and nice kids and really wonderful. I look forward to doing some more. So I'm starting to break up shapes. Yep, long break from social media indeed. It was, but there was a few different factors, not just the teaching. The cats can listen. I'm staring at the screen. There we go. I'm in the middle of reading the alphabet book. And that's very nice. And you still need to start book 2 of the stories. Oh, well, we are in the process of finishing putting together to put out number 3 of one page. We've got number 3 all assembled to release next. So that's going to be exciting. It's tricky when people come in and make a suggestion and I do a page and they're like, when's that going to be in the book? And I'm like, well, in the last few years, I've done over 1,000 pages. And so it's a bit of catch up to get to the ones that, are the most recent finished pages. It's hard to say, well, that's what it's going to be in the next book, because some people that may have been waiting for however long from when they made their suggestions. So I'm going about picking through it relatively in order. The difference with the new one is that it's not in a landscape format. It's the pages that are in portrait format, which is upright. Landscape is this way, portrait is this way. So, you know, that's what's coming. It's a lot of fun. Same size, same everything. Mr. Luan, how are you today, sir? It's good to hear from you. So, yeah, so we've got that is the next thing to be released. And then after that will be Stream, well, the operating title is Stream of Conceitedness, but Lori doesn't like it. We're going to come up with a new title. But it's a Stream of Consciousness book, and the main character, who I call the Running Fool, looks like me. It says, hi to Jim. Hence the conceitedness in the title. Yes, Corbin? Corbin's over here giving me a hard time. So I'm just coming in with some of these other values here. Starting to build up our character. Still using thick and chunky brushes. Why? Just because. We'll tighten those up. Titanium is not a good color for, like, it's a good color because there's some translucence to it, but if you want, as you're mixing a value, for that value to have solidity, you can't depend entirely on the one value. Like the titanium's not going to add any sort of solidity to that color. That's what I'm trying to say. It's a little bit aggravating. What am I missing? Lots of new projects. Cool. Did I hear? Okay. Yeah, more than 1,000. We're actually well into the 1,000 at this point, but I have a backlog of pages that I'm starting to eke out at this point because they've all just been sort of resting. You know, I've shown a number of them. I think when we started, there was one on the screen. I think that's just one of the many things that I'm just trying to finish coloring and getting the words on and putting out. So I did 2 pages today. There may be a bit more of that coming along in the immediate future, just to try to play catch up with some of these. Just, you know, I feel like I owe. I'm using this green instead of a blue, which makes some really quirky browns. Not very good browns at all, let's say. Yeah, I'm going to put some blue down. Yeah, so after stream, yeah, because the plan is for this year to be 3 books, And we've got one page extravaganza number 3. And then after that is, yeah, this is just junk. I don't know what I'm doing here. Get all this rain off my brush. There we go. And then the stream book is an 80-page connected story. A bunch of short stories that are all interlinked. So that'll be what's next after that. And then it's either going to be Short Story Fandango is the working title in my head for the next project, which is a collection of short stories. Or it's going to be 1 page 4. I think it'll end up being Short Story Fandango, but which is still stuff that I've been doing through the 1 pages, where somebody will suggest something and I get carried away and I don't stop at a single page and I do it a couple pages or a number of pages. And then with Short Story Fandango, there's a couple of things that I wanted that I'm going to include in that, and one is a 40-page ghost story set in a small village. So, the operating title of that was A Village Haunted. So there we are. So that's some of the stuff that's up and coming. So yeah, I appreciate everybody's patience with me in the last year. But lots of fun is in the works. And yeah, despite whatever things I got going on in the next so many months, I'll be keeping a regular schedule again. So Wednesday nights is going to be a regular occurrence, as well as weekdays at noon. So brace yourselves. We'll have some fun. Just using some junky brushes right now. Not working out too badly. Just taking time to get my bearing here. I think that's a secret, small bursts. The mixing of browns. Or just breaking down and actually using a brown, which is what's probably going to end up happening. So, who are we kidding? Hey, there you go, Mr. Paul Pate. Hello, sir. Bring on 2026. I am braced. I'm glad to hear it. Brace yourself. It's going to get bumpy. I'm just grabbing whatever random brushes are nearby, and I tend to have been grabbing junk. So, sorry, folks, bear with me. I think I got something workable in my hand. Oh my goodness, here we go. That's much better. Hopefully the color's turning out well enough. I'm back from work around 7:30 on Wednesdays for the 12 p.m. stream. I'll watch the first part and go to work. I'm trying to color a cat here now, but my cat Kika wants pets. Well, stop coloring Kika and pet her. I know that you're not actually coloring Kika. Just being silly. That's how it works. It's not so much pets with Corbin as it is food. Feed me immediately. You, human, do your job. Okay, so I've got, this is shaping up now. I'm pleased. This is starting to come together as I like it. I don't know that you're going to be able to see as much of the differentiation of color as in the camera. Hopefully you can see it to some extent, but maybe not, I'm trying to color cat. I hope you're feeling better, Malcolm. My goodness. Yeah, so that's a rough go, buddy. Surgery is not fun. Okay, so now that we've got an understanding of the structure of our young person's face here, as I go over to the smaller version of her, I can more easily break it down into simplified shapes. But by focusing first and foremost on the larger image of her helps, give a better understanding of what the smaller breakdown is going to be. I actually got to turn that gun right now. We'll clean it up in a second. Yeah, I understand. Frustration. I really do. I plan on coming back at the start of January, and it didn't work out. It's hard to. I didn't start drawing until the 15th of January. Again, so I was a little sidetracked because of health. So here we are. Okay, so Corbin's back. really went for the light yellow there. Whoa. She got a turtleneck. She's doing her best impression of the turtle. Okay, so there's our next part of things coming together now. Bit of a backwards way to go about it, but here we are. So I'm interested and excited about seeing other people's projects and what people are doing. And I'm playing a bit of catch up, so it's gonna, please forgive me for taking a hot moment to figure out what everybody's been working on. But we'll get there. I know Gary Hodges has put out a new project. There for a minute I thought you'd have messed up, but forgot. It's as if I forgot who I'm watching. I know, I did. There was a bit of a mess up there, but we got back together again. We got the band back together. Now she's playing the same tune. Okay, so let's come in here and tidy up this part of the composition overall. I really like this lighter yellow value, so we're gonna tuck that into this background. Let's get our young lady's arm looking more like an arm, shall we? Some proper flesh tone on it, you know? Well, Caucasian flesh tone, anyways. Yeah, our one daughter moved to Toronto, and she lives right in the downtown area. It's very exciting. You know, what an adventure that is. Toronto is the largest city in Canada, and she's right downtown in that big exciting big city living. London is about 500,000, which is not small by any means, but you know, it's no Toronto. You know, it was fun. It was it's all that kept going through my head as we're helping her move into her. She's married, so she and her husband's apartment is the Jeffersons song, theme song, because she's on the 37th floor. Happy accident, someone said. Yeah, we're gonna. Oh, Paul's up. See you later, Paul. Thanks for stopping in. Hi from Tim. Hey, all right. Yeah, it's very exciting. But the 37th floor, are you kidding me? Take a look off the balcony. No! Let's be honest. I wasn't going out on the balcony. So, but they both enjoy where they are. That's the most exciting thing. And they both work in the area, so it's good for them where they live and where they work. It's nice and close. So there's that. Okay, so I've got some ideas for the background here because it's supposed to be indoors. So we'll just get this built up a little bit more. I hope there are power plants for the elevators. Well, for sure. What's funny is Lori and I met years ago. My studio was beside her office, and the building that we're in is only 4 floors altogether. And the time it takes to ride the elevator from the 1 floor to the lowest floor to the top floor is pretty much the same amount of time it takes to get to our daughter's floor. 37 floors away. 36 above ground. And I gotta tell you, that's a good elevator. Because it doesn't give you that sense of being thrown in the air and then slammed onto the ground. So that's always good. Maybe I've watched too many cartoons, but that can be a real problem for cartoon characters. Okay, so we've got our characters coming together now. Or well, it's the same character, but we've got our imagery coming together a little more clearly. And so the suggestions for this page are acrylic, human child, and indoors. And I've got an idea for a story in mind already with this precocious little character that we're putting in here. That she doesn't want to be indoors. So this is the whole motivation for our character, is to get outdoors by whatever means necessary. Sorry, that was bugging me. If you're going to have a human child in a story, you got to make them have fun. I mean, what's the point of getting to put a kid into a story without having that kid get to be, like the protagonist of every children's novel, getting up to mischief, investigating mysteries. Having massive telekinetic powers that can set fire to a gymnasium. Nope, wait, nope. Took a turn there. I have to confess, I dislike elevators. 6 floors in one of the buildings I teach. I'd rather use the stairs. One elevator, it's always crowded. I'm afraid of being crushed at the door. Yeah, I don't enjoy elevators either. But let's be honest, I'm a giant baby. So, I don't like elevators. I don't like heights. I don't see the point of strapping myself to a piece of rope and flinging myself off a bridge. That's just largely because I'm a big chicken. that, and I'm always worried about things like that. Like, how strong is that rope? Will it hold my weight? These things happen too often. Thank you, Seven. Chicken. There was a funny song, an old, there's a folk musician named Jackie Washington, and he was a brilliant, brilliant performer. I got to see a number of times at folk festivals, and he had this song called "Are You Hurt?" and it was about that friend that everybody's got, that friend that when something goes wrong, the first person to run up to you and ask the bleeding obvious statement, thing like, if elevator cable is given out, you've crashed 4 floors, and unfortunately there were some repairmen in the building that were doing some brickwork, and of course the doors open up for them, so they automatically push the cart in, and now all those bricks are coming down atop you, and then the first thing the friend says is, "Are you hurt?" And yeah, those are the sort of possible things that could happen in my head. You just don't know. All right, so we've got things coming together now. Now we're starting to cook with gas. Don't worry, I won't go bungee jumping either. Are you hurt? Yep. I won't even ride a Ferris wheel. Yeah. Okay, you want a Ferris wheel story? This will keep you off a Ferris wheel. I went on a ride at the Western Fair on a Ferris wheel, and I think it was one of my sons that I was with, took the kids to the fair, and we go for a ride on this small Ferris wheel, and as the guy closes the door, it pops back open again, the latch that's holding us into the compartment. And so we start, no, it wasn't one of my sons, it was somebody that was with us, that fella I know, because my sons wouldn't have been this crazy. So the thing spins, the Ferris wheel compartment that we're in spins around. And so he immediately starts spinning the thing, and I'm holding the door shut with my arm as we're spinning around, and I'm trying to bring this to his attention. And whether he was understanding it or not, to this day, I don't know. But yeah, last time I've been on a Ferris wheel. The conductor notices it and brings us in. Like he figured it out. Like he looked up and went, "Oh, goodness." And immediately we did a cycle right to the bottom. And, he had to close that specific thing until somebody came over and repaired it. So, but it wasn't, it was an interesting moment. It wasn't a situation I'd want to repeat. Thanks everyone. Oh, that's very nice, Yolanda. Yeah, it was very scary. It was very scary. And it was, yeah. Also, I don't know there's a thing called the rocket. And again, this is the problem of being my height, is that there's the roller coaster that was in London. I couldn't ride sitting up because it had clearance for 6'4" as the cart's going along the track. So I had to slink down in the compartment so I didn't clap my head on any of the bars as we're going along in the ride. Yeah, rides and me don't work. The rocket is this thing that oscillates, and as it does so, you lay on wooden boards along the wall, and as it spins, the vertical force pulls the boards up towards the ceiling, and now, oh, look at you, you're defying gravity, right? But again, height-wise, too tall for the boards. So this thing spins at this, lifts up towards the ceiling. I clunk my head off the roof with a dumb ride. Not like I knock myself out or anything, but just, clunk. And yeah, that I didn't enjoy either. A ride that's always been safe to me, and I've always thought was a lot of fun, is the carpet. You go down the carpet on the slide, but we went to a fair, a small fair recently, and they had it there. I can't remember who was with us, maybe grandkids or something, I don't know, but I saw the ridiculous climb to get up to the top to go down on the carpets, and I'm like, yeah, no, I'm too old. What's that? When you're a kid, you want to get the height you need to ride. Oh yeah, no, that's true. You got to be this tall to ride this, to go on this ride, but they don't have a sign that says you can't be more than this tall to go on this ride. You cannot ride this if you're gorilla sized. That's what it should say. That would be helpful. So I'm just, the only ride I'll go on is the carousel. There you go. I like the bone shaker, or the pirate ship, or whatever it's called. The one that, you swing back and forth, and you don't stand in any place relative to that ride, because the amount of people that it upsets their stomach. And everybody knows somebody who's had somebody get upset stomach on that ride while they were on it. That's just a horror story. So, Did you know that there's a thing called carny talk? It's backwards. It's real carnies, people that travel year round, and across continents, so that they follow the weather. That they have the language of their own, where they're basically talking just to the same speed but backwards, and so they can talk directly to one another in front of other people without the other people figuring out what they're talking about. It's kind of interesting. Carney Talk. There should be a talk show called the Carney Talk. With yeah. That's their name backwards. Now we're tightening up our character, our composition, getting more of the highlights. Had to let that surface layer dry there. So now we can come in with the lighter values. It gets some nice contrast going in the features. A little more expression there. I know that there's other people that, as they're painting, they just black, and just lay down the color first time go as they're going. I like to find the colors as I go. I don't know why, I just do. But hey, it's Liz. Hi, Liz. This is way better than watching the crazy news. Hi, Liz. Good to see you. Yeah, I can't say that I watch the news. one of our sons is always saying, so what do you think about this situation? And I never have any idea what he's talking about. What do you think of this political situation in this random place? And I'm like, oh my goodness, that's terrible. And he knows I don't know anything about it. I find that the world's a much more comfortable place the less that we follow all the terrible stories. So I'm building up lighter and lighter values to the point that I'm now little hits of white at this point. Sort of had to work my way to it. Where is... Yeah, I'm just going to use this. All right. It's a red brown. It's because I'm going to get going on this thing here. And 2 more minutes. And so I'm just chopping in some shapes for the hair. And then we'll pull some details through there in a moment or two. Hopefully that's looking like something. So yeah, so this page is, the suggestion for this is acrylic paint, human child, and indoors. I've been enjoying doing the art dice that I've been using, and it's an interesting set of 9 dice our youngest daughter got me for Christmas, and I really, really, really enjoy them. But if people do have one-page suggestions or ideas that they want to throw at me, please feel free to do so. But put them in the comments for the video, which means, unfortunately, it'll be after the video is over. But please feel free to put them in the comments on the videos or any of the social media posts. And then that way I won't lose them on whatever random piece of paper I put them on and then immediately misplace, because that's what I do. So there we go. So now we've got the structure of our young person coming together here. So this is our human child. Thanks everybody for coming out. I'll have this posted tomorrow, and then tomorrow's stream is at noon on the channel here. I'm using StreamYard specifically so that I can let people know in advance. So it's changing up the way I can use cameras and things like that, sure, but this way people know that there's announcements that I'm going to be here at this time, and it's a little more fair, a little more direct, I think. Some of that deep blue in here and get a nice thick, deep dark brown charcoal color. I would take again the cloth that has 10 years of experience in painting. That could be a good animated character. Yeah, it's his name is Fandango. I don't know. It's you get into a habit, you get into a routine in your space, and maybe it's my lucky cloth. I don't know. Maybe I'm like what is it? Baseball players don't change their underwear or something like that. I don't. Maybe that's what the cloth is. But I do. I have occasionally washed it over the years so that it's. I mean, there's color just baked right into it at this point. There we go. So we've got the structure of our character coming together there. Wow, it's like watching paint dry. 7. And building up our contrast as we go. Gives a little bit more character to things as we move along in the process. Whatever approach the painting people take, find the one that works for you. There's a million people with a million pounds of advice about this is the way to paint. And that process has worked for them. That's why they make that declaration. But it doesn't mean it works for everybody. I'm sure that there's things that we can all glean from one person or the next, myself included. And we're always in a process of continuing to learn. But there'll be certain things that you find yourself doing that just work. Those things make sense for you, and stick with them. Here we go. We're starting to get it. Just again, sort of building up, and we'll glaze in some more color as we go. Oh, there's Corbin. I believe he's telling me, hey, you need to feed me again. I haven't been fed in 7 years. So yeah, if there's suggestions, by all means, please throw them at me. If there's, again, and if there's, can you draw a page in whatever medium, that's fine. Go ahead and throw that towards me as well. I'm good with that. And we're back on the horse. We're back to posting again. So, and I'll be letting people know as we do the finishing stuff on page 3 here. And if you've picked up copies of 1 and 2, please feel free to leave a review on the Amazon there, and that lets other people know it's there. That always helps. And if people got stuff that they're doing that they want to talk about and want to, we'll be doing, I'll be having some guests on again. So I'll be reaching out to folks, and if you're interested, you're also welcome to let me know. We'll see if we can make something work. So yeah. See, it's a contrast thing. That's why the darker and the lighter colors come in, as we go along. I tend not to be one who just drops values in. That's the color it's going to be there. Ha ha ha. I really do like bringing it up. So thank you for bearing with me. And you don't need 60 brushes to paint with. So better give tips, not a fixed process. Yeah, that's true. Still watching your old videos. Oh, that's very nice. I need to go. Sleeping pills are kicking in. I'm a regular sleeping schedule. Oh, thanks so much for coming out, Chris. I really appreciate it. Have yourself a great night. We'll wrap this up in a second ourselves here. So here we are. There's the. Oh, I just heard the snowplow go by. We got a lot of snow today. We've been getting a lot of snow this whole winter. And the kids next door have really been stepping up and doing a lot of shoveling for us, so that's nice. So I think I'm gonna sign off here, folks, but we'll finish this up. I have it posted for tomorrow. Just one brush and a 10-year-old paint rag. That is true. There you go. That's a good name for this video. One brush and a 10-year-old paint rag. One brush and a 10-year-old paint rag later. So yeah, I'll have this posted for tomorrow. The plan is, and I usually like to tell people where I have ideas for where the story's going to go. This is going to be the 3 words are acrylic paint, human child, indoors, and so this will be about the girl that'll do whatever she has to do in order to get let outside. So there we go. Linda says, thanks everybody for coming. Yes, thank you so much, Linda, as well. Thanks everybody. Yeah, I appreciate people coming out and joining in, and I'm sorry I've been away, but I'm feeling better, and we're back. So yeah, I hope to not do that again. But feel free to jump in and join us daily at 12 noon, Wednesdays at 8 p.m. And yeah, I hope to see you. Oh, thanks, sir. That's lots of good comment. Thanks so much, Linda. Thank you, everybody, for coming out. I'll have this posted on Instagram and Facebook tomorrow. I'm going to post one more page tonight that we did in yesterday's stream. So keep an eye out for that tonight. And there's already one up now riffing on the Aliens franchise. So, take a look at that one too. All right, everyone. I'll see you tomorrow. Go tell some stories. People want to hear some stories from you. All right. Bye for now.